Hi guys, welcome to nerdygirltv. I'm Sam and I'd like to welcome you today to another one of our board games playthrough and reviews. Today we are going to be looking at a merchant-based game known as Splendor. Now Splendor is created by Asmodee Games. It's for 2 to 4 players and can take up to about half an hour to play. When you open the box, you get your small instruction booklet and you get 6 piles of tokens and some cardboard squares. Now usually you will have the cards in the plastic grooves, but because we've played before and we've put our cards into card protectors, we have to keep our cards at the bottom of the box. And you see you'll get 3 decks, as it were. You'll get a blue, a gold and a green. Each one is a different level, which we'll come to later on. Each of the cards has got gemstones on it, and you have to pay for them using the tokens and other things, which we will explain as we go through the tutorial. When you start, you need to make sure that all of the decks of cards have been shuffled. And you count out the tokens you need. I'll explain in further detail when we come further through the video about this, but you don't use all the tokens for each gem if you are playing a 2 or 3 player game. If it's a 4 player game, then you use all the tokens. Okay, so let's have a look at the cards you get in the game. There are 90 development cards. So the green backed cards, they're your level 1 cards. There's 40 of those. There are 30 of your gold backed cards. They're level 2 cards. And then you get 20 of the level 3 cards. Now they're leveled because the lower the level, the cheaper they are to buy, or the easier they are to obtain. And on the other side, you also get noble tiles. If you note in the corner there is a white number, that is a prestige number, and the aim of the game is to get to 15 prestige. And when you do that, you win the game. It's quite simple. Right, these are your tokens. There are 40 tokens in total. You get 7 of each of the gems and 5 of the gold joker tokens. Obviously, as you can see, there's emerald, sapphire, ruby, diamond and onyx. The joker gold tokens come into effect when you want to reserve cards. We can talk about that later on. So this is kind of an explanation of how you get cards when you're playing the game. So if we're looking at the card, it's a ruby card. On the bottom left, there are 3 numbers in different coloured circles. There's a number 1 in a white circle, there's a 4 in a blue and a 2 in a green. They correspond to the gems, to the tokens. And as you're starting out, you don't have anything to help you along, so you have to take your time and choose what tokens you need to buy the cards you need. And obviously in the top left of the card is a number 2, so that's got 2 prestige points. As you can see, the picture is showing that we needed 1 diamond, 4 sapphire and 2 emerald. And once you have those, you put those back into the pot, the kitty, whatever you want to call it, just where the gems are kept, and you take that card. So here's just an explanation of how to get the noble cards. So the noble cards are the small square cards with they've got pictures of people on them. They have different prestige numbers in the top left hand corner, and then underneath that it tells you what gems you need. Now for the noble tiles, you can't use tokens. From what I understand, you can't use them. You have to collect the cards in order to get the noble tiles. So here we'd need 3 emerald, 3 sapphire and 3 diamond. Once you have those in your collection, you just go ahead and take that noble tile. They're normally very sought after because once you get those, it just makes it a lot easier to get to that 15 prestige in order to win the game. Like I said before, there's slight changes in how you play the game depending on the number of players. So, for argument's sake, if you had the full 4 players, you would reveal as many noble tiles as there are players plus 1. So if there's 4 players, there'll be 5 noble tiles after you've shuffled them. But if you're playing with 3 players, it'll be 4 noble tiles, and with 2 players, it's 3. Also, the gems will be reduced. So with a full game, you'd have all the gems, all the tokens. With 3 players, you remove 2 tokens of each gem colour, so there should only be 5 of each one. And with 2 players, you remove 3, so there's only 4 of each token. Now let's see how we set up to begin a game. At the top of the play area, you'll have your noble cards. Underneath that, you'll have your green level 1 development cards. Under that will be your level 2 gold development cards, and after that will be the level 3 blue development cards. You then turn over or deal 4 cards in a row with the corresponding deck at the end of the row. The gem tokens all need to be within reach of all the players that are playing. So now I've quickly gone through the rules, let's see a game in action. For the purposes of this video, I'm not going to be counting the actual tokens that each one of us has. We're going to be counting the cards, the number of gem cards we have, and we will also, for saving time, be time-lapsing some areas because this game is very strategic and you spend a lot of time thinking about your next move. So we just want to focus on the mechanics of getting the cards and winning. What you see here is our first couple of turns. Now, we don't have enough gem tokens to actually buy cards, so you'll find the first couple of turns of this game is simply collecting tokens so you can start buying your cards. There is one rule, that is if there is a full pile of gems available to you, so in this game it's 4 in each pile, you may take 2 of that instead of choosing 3 gems. So when you take your turn, if you're taking your gem tokens, you can take 3 individually coloured gems, or if there is 4 or the full stack is there, you may take 2 of one colour, and that is the end of your turn. Then it moves over to the other player. Once you have reached the correct number of tokens, or have the cards and the tokens, then you can put them back into the pot or where the gems are, and then you take the card and that card is replaced from the corresponding deck. So right now we're just trying to get a good base of gem cards. We are both trying to get the noble tiles that are situated at the top of the board. So the reason that sometimes it can be quite a long game is because you're trying to build up those stores of tokens. Something else that should be mentioned is that you're only allowed 10 tokens at any one time. So if you're going over that 10, you have to make sure that you put tokens back so that you have a limit of 10. A lot of the time you're looking at the cards, trying to see what you've got and see what's the best move and seeing how quickly you can get any of the noble tiles at the top. Okay, so the man behind the cam has taken a gold Joker token and then just taken a card. So let me explain what's just happened. He has taken the gold token, chosen a card that he wants to later purchase. It might be because he knows I want that card or it's part of his greater plan. So you take the token, you put the gold on the card, you set it aside away from your actual stash. And then when you have the right amount of coins or you have the right amount of cards and coins, and you can then pay for it and it becomes part of your stash. It's also important to remember that the gold token can be used to substitute any of the other tokens or cards that are in the game. So right now, as you can see, the man behind the cam has picked up a gem card which had 2 prestige points on the top. He is closer to winning than I am at this point. It's definitely a game that you need a head for numbers and keeping track of scores and having a real good grasp of strategy, as it were. It is a fun game, don't get me wrong, I really do enjoy playing this, but sometimes I personally just don't have the head for the kind of strategies and gameplay style that this game sometimes requires you to have. Nevertheless, it's definitely a game that can teach you a lot about making choices. So, online and in shops, Splendor will probably retail for around £20. There's no expansions that I'm aware of at this time. If I'm wrong, please put something in the comments for me. Splendor was recently awarded the title of Best Family Game at the Dice Tower Gaming Convention in Florida last month. So, if you're looking at or looking for a game that is one for everyone to play in your family, then Splendor is a great one to start with. It's also been called a great gateway game. I don't know if you remember what I explained it before, but a gateway game is one that gets people into the world of board games. So this is another one that the Dice Tower actually recommends highly. I often find it really difficult to try and get those higher level cards because that's where the prestige points really are. Occasionally you get a couple of prestige points in your green level 1 area, but they are usually in the level 2 and level 3. As you can see, I'm finally off the mark. I have 2 prestige points, whereas the man behind the cam has got 4. And he has just got his first noble tile, which has then upped his score even higher because he got a card which had prestige points and he then got the noble which had a further 3 points added to it. So in one turn he managed to get 5 points. This game that you're watching actually ran for around 30 to 40 minutes. The game time on the box does say 30 minutes, but we do spend a lot of time thinking when it's our turns. As I said before, you're thinking about strategies, you're eyeing up your next move, you're trying to guess what your opponent's going to do. So yeah, it took us a little bit longer than what it says on the recommended game time on the box. So as you can see, I've got quite a few sapphires a lot of diamonds and more onyxes than I do the rubies and emeralds. But the man behind the cam has got a pretty even spread of all the cards he has. But the difference being that majority of his cards have come from the higher levels, so they come from the gold level 2s or the blue level 3s, which is really where I should have been aiming for at this point in the game. But like I said, the higher the level, the more gems you need to actually buy the cards, as it were. At this point, it's 13 to 8. There's no way I'm going to win. He just needs one card and that's it. And there it is. 15 points. The man behind the cam wins. To sum up, Splendor is a really good game. It allows for plenty of talking amongst the opponents, which in my opinion makes it the great family game that it is. And like I said before, it's been awarded best family game. But yeah, it's definitely one you need to try and see. It might not be for you, but I'd say give it a go. So what I'm going to start doing here at nerdygirltv is we're going to introduce a rating system. So it's marks out of 10, just to give you a guide about what's going on. I will at some point go back and grade the previous videos I have done on board games. But for Splendor, I am going to give it 6 TARDISes out of 10. So it's fun, it's a bit of a challenge, it's something that I would play again. Well, that's it from nerdygirltv for this video. Thank you once again for watching. Please check out our other board games reviews. We've got King of Tokyo and Lords of War. Just click on the videos and it'll take you straight there. And don't forget, we also do My Geek Box unboxings. Again, clicking on the video, it'll take you straight to our most recent Geek Box, which was from July, which had the theme of Nemesis. If you like what you see, don't forget to check us out on Facebook and please subscribe to the channel. If you've got any other comments or suggestions, leave them in the comment section below. I'm Sam, I've been your nerdy girl today. Thank you once again, and later days.